Instagram waiting for YouTube to go live. Hi, YouTube. So on Tuesdays, I'm live approximately 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a few minutes off today. And I'm going in between YouTube and Instagram. Back and forth, back and forth. So if I'm not looking straight at you, that's because I'm looking at the other. Hi, Cynthia. Hi. Okay. So yesterday's Monday. Hi, Chris. We are going to get to live tarot readings today, because I know that's what everybody cares about on Tuesday, which is awesome. We'll get there at that 20, 30-minute mark-ish, because Tuesdays are our tangent and tarot days that we still do a little chat and a little discussion about the Unicorn Wellness community first and wellness. And then we move into the tarot readings. When we get to them, it's a first come, first serve. Type your question in and I go one for one, as many up to 15 as possible. So there's not a pre-list. When we get to the tarot portion of things, then it'll just be first come, first serve. Type it in as we go. Okay? Yay, Paul is here for the tangent. I love it. I love it. I love y'all. So this is also, okay, so going through kind of like oh, hi, Vanessa. Hi, you guys. All right. It's Tuesday. It's tangent and tarot. We will not get to the tarot readings until the later portion of it. We talk, we connect, little housekeeping for those who missed it on Monday, and chat and conversation and wellness and astrology, and then we move into the tarot. Like I said last week, and I'll just keep doing this, and this is a work in progress too. Hi, Katie. No love questions for the tarot pulls. Why? It's not my specialty. I have a thing about them. I am here to help you all on your path for your highest and greatest good and the highest expression of your soul. I am very interested and very accurate with questions pertaining to your next steps for your highest and greatest good, next steps for healing, what needs to be transitioned from information into wisdom, which is the special that we're doing this month for personal readings on the site at TanyaGutierrez.com. When it comes to relationship and love readings, I think that's a little bit weird and unfair to be asking about what other people think or what other people are doing. If you have a relationship question, you need to go talk to that person. It's a relationship. I also think it's a little weird, like getting into other people's energies when they haven't given me permission to read them or for them on that level. The space where I give that a little bit of leniency is for parents and their children, because we are in their care and we do need to get into their business sometimes. And as long as we're asking for their highest and greatest good, I think it's okay to inquire what they may need, how we can help and assist them. So I don't do love questions. Other people, it's totally their specialty. It is absolutely their area of expertise and talent. It is not mine. I am here to help you progress with your soul. And the only thing we can ever control or adjust is ourselves and self-responsibility and self-reflection. That's what I do. Okay. So when you're inquiring about yourself, I'm all in. If it's about others, not my comfort zone, not within my boundary playground. Does that make sense? We've talked about it before, but it always bears repeating because we have members and new people each time. And I want to be really clear with that, that this is the gathering of the Unicorn Wellness community, mostly of members of UnicornWellness.Studio. I do the single card readings as an offering because I want to be in service of your souls and your soul progression in your personal wellness and your personal evolution as much as humanly possible. But when it comes to relationship and love readings, I don't do them because if it's a relationship and love question, you need to go talk to them. Okay, so I guess we did kind of start with things. Hi, you guys. So we're on Instagram and YouTube. So I always like to say if I don't look like I'm looking at you, it's because I'm looking at the other one, but I am here and I am present and I see you all in both of the rooms and both of the platforms. Yay, Vanessa, thank you for agreeing. And then Charlotte, oh, yay, thanks. This is, okay, it's kind of funky. These curls are my real curls. My youngest son, his curly hair, it's my curly hair, and it's just getting longer and longer, and I don't totally know what to do with it, so I'm just letting it be. So thank you, Charlotte. And then, okay, so let me just go through the basics. Connie, I see you, and I see Melissa and Cynthia, and Anita. Hi, you guys. So here's the basics of the housekeeping. There's going to be a shift. If you were here with me yesterday, I'm sorry for the repeat, but if you weren't, it's new information. Anybody who's watching, then you'll know. So I'm making adjustments to the schedules of the lives Mondays and Tuesdays from here on out. It's summer. My kids will be out of school at the end of this month. They have the day off today. It's a weird, kooky thing. And we're all doing this, hop along of scheduling best we can. I have a double up of shooting for the workouts at UnicornWellness.Studio. So there's just shuffle of schedules in the summer. So I'm going to read them out. I forgot to put them in the description yesterday. I will go back and do that. I promise. So next Monday, we will not have a live together. I will do it on Tuesday next week and we'll combo. Next Tuesday will be our weekly tarot and the tangent and the tarot polls for those in attendance. After that, there's no Tuesday the 25th. Yes to July 2nd, no to July 9th, no to July 16th, because I have a ritual to teach in person, same as next week. No to July 23rd, yes to the 30th. So whenever we miss one of these days in this week on a Monday or Tuesday, the other day will be a double up, right? Of like chat, conversation, and the tarot poll. So the content will still be accessible to you all. It's just on different days and typically on one day instead of two. No Tuesdays in August because I'm taking the month off, but I will be here on Mondays for our weekly tarot readings. Hi, Jill. And that's it for that. Okay. There's also, so that's like the schedule, and I forgot to put it in the description yesterday. This is just what's happening right now. I will get it in the description, but just check Instagram for yes, are we doing it? No, we're not doing it, or show up, or click the bell. Okay. Because the bell on YouTube will let you know when I'm live. You can join me if you can, and not if not. And on Instagram, it lets you know that I'm live if you follow me. So it's all good. We'll figure it out. Just let you know there's an ebb and a flow in it. Okay. So then this month on UnicornWellness.Studio, we've got a group of unicorns of members who are doing the food reset, and they've kind of buddied up to do it together. They're starting within this week and next week. So if you are interested in doing the food reset and you don't want to go it alone, now's the time to do it. You got lots of support and camaraderie. You always have the support in the private Facebook group and from me. But this is really a time of having support from each other also if you want it. Anybody who is new to the site who joins at UnicornWellness.Studio and becomes a member of the site this month in June, your first paid month subscription, a portion of it will be donated to the Audre Lorde Project here in Brooklyn in honor of Pride Month. So it's extra incentive to become a unicorn and to become a member. Okay, I did this yesterday and I gave clarity, and then a lot more of you booked, so hooray. I have a June special for the 3-card readings. It is a $33 3-card reading. You will not meet with me in person. It will be an offline session. The only question that this special asks is what needs to be transmuted from information into wisdom right now in my life. If you have a general inquiry for your 3-card reading, you got to book the regular price, okay? This is a special that is being pushed and driven to me to help guide you a little bit deeper in your evolution and your personal evolution. So there was confusion a little bit. Some people booked it and then asked their own questions with it. And I went, that's okay. We'll figure it out. Maybe I wasn't clear. So $33 3-card special. It only asks one question. So you don't have to put anything in the comment. You don't have to come up with your own question. And a lot of people have said they love that because they're like, I never know what to ask. You can always ask, what are the next best steps for my highest and greatest good? That's like the best question in the universe, because that gives universe space to guide you. And it also gives us like non-attachment from what we think we need to be doing. And it lets the cards really speak to what you need to be doing. Okay. So there's a special, you can book the 3-card special at tandygutierrez.com. If you want a reading this summer, like book it now. And if you don't know, you're like, I don't know if I want a reading or not, book the special. It's only $33. Let it ask that question. It's like wisdom in your pocket. It's like memento, leaving a note for yourself later on. August, I'm taking the month off. I won't be doing any readings in August. So just think about that month will be a little dry on the personal readings. You will always have your monthly, your new, and your full moon available to the members at UnicornWellness.Studio. So those tarot readings are always there. And I will be around for the weeklies in August. Okay. So it's summer. It's getting insane. we're changing schedules right and left over here in my house, and the site is always like clockwork. For 6 years, it's been clockwork with your workout, meditation, and the 3 tarot readings. Like, when in doubt, go press play. Okay. Reading through the comments because I just lost a lot of them, missed a lot of them while I was running my mouth. Oh my God, I'm so glad because I put my hair down and I was like, I hate it. What's it doing? You guys like my hair. Thanks. My Leo rising likes that. Oh, Vanessa, you are making your smoothie today for your reset. Yes. Oh, Melinda, thank you. You guys are so complimentary today. Cool, you guys. Thanks for helping each other on the tarot readings. Oh, you did, Patty? Okay, that's okay. That's okay. So again, listen, you guys, I'm doing the very best I can right now. I'm hitting like mom juggling central. This special, I don't think I was clear in the email that it was only one question that it asked. And so I did the Instagram and YouTube live yesterday, and I put it in the Instagram stories. And it's okay, because if that was my confusion, it's my fault. So we'll always figure it out. But the goal of this set is that it's being pushed. That's the reason I offered the specials, because it's like this question needs to be asked, make it more accessible, make people willing to ask that question, so to speak. So that's where that is. And then, hi, Pearl. And what else? And. That's it. There's a lot of the shuffle of schedules, and I have it mapped for 3 months, but I am still only one person in the world. And me having an assistant seems to be the sometimes yes, sometimes no. And the universe has a really funny sense of humor about that for me still. So we're just going with it. When in doubt, UnicornWellness.Studio, press play. That's the heartbeat of things. That's the anchor of things. That's the practice. That's where the information hits the concrete, like, go there. But I will be live as often as I can for you, even through little funky scheduling in the summer, okay? Before we start the tarot readings, why don't you guys just let me know how you're feeling? I got a lot of feedback on the workouts right now. Yeah, Pearl, as I'm speaking. You guys have loved the series this month and the cycle this month. So let me know, what about it that you really love? Because these workouts, they're always written in accordance to the current astrology and the current lunar cycle. So we're coming off of constructive rest week, our full stretch week on the mat at UnicornWellness.Studio. And so these are always the member favorites, which I love because they're kind of my favorites too. And for forever, people didn't do the stretches. Like, they were like, it's not a workout. I'm like, oh, unbelievable. So when it comes to your training and the macro microcycling of the functional science of it, we want 3 weeks. We need 3 weeks of strengthening, right, to prepare the body for change. But change requires a full constructive rest week of low key for integration and alchemization of the work you've done in the physical body, those other 3 weeks. So we're coming off of your new moon week, your full stretch videos. There's a lot of new stuff. I don't know if you all really recognize that, but there's been so much good feedback about these workouts. So like, if you're not on the site, go use the damn promo code, try it for 30 days free. It really is a give. It's not sneaky. You cancel it if you don't like it. You don't ever pay for it. But these workouts are different. They're highly curated, they're highly crafted, and they're written in accordance to harness the current astrology, or to balance the current astrology, which is really different. Okay. And so this Gemini energy is really airy and really up here, and it's super high vibe, and it's kind of all over the place, and it's really excitable, very chatty. It needs grounding. Okay. And so in your workouts, there's a lot of grounded, intentional, thoughtful, straightforward movement, but you have a lot of new variations in it. And I'm hearing a lot from the members that you guys love these. I'm so happy. I mean, you all always like the workouts for the most part, but there's a lot of feedback about these. So, if you are not a member of the site and you're like, I want to try these workouts or these stretches, when you use a promo code, you get a 30-day rewind, which means you'll get the full cycle of these workouts. You could go back and try the stretches and then go into the flow. So that's really where I'm hearing the feedback. I mean, you guys are on the mat right now. You're doing it. It's really, the movement patterns are there and it's really powerful. And there's a lot of really great feedback. So I like to hear what you all think and how you feel in your bodies and how you feel when you leave the mat. Because it's not just about a workout, right? It's about mental clarity. It's about cleaning out the energies. Every one of those videos is Reiki infused by me to you. So you should, and I want you to leave feeling like you've had a personal trainer and me giving you, right? So that you can fill up and me guiding and supporting and holding space for you so that you can go out into your day and do that for other people. We all need those times. And so pressing play on the mat is about so much more than just a workout or moving your body. These are not slapped together willy-nilly. This is 20 years of expertise and knowledge and career in these little tidbits on the mat in 30 minutes at a time. I love them so much. So this cycle seems to really resonate with you all. So I love to hear what you think about it. Instagram's a little quiet today. That's okay. You guys are chatty on YouTube. Oh, thank you, Mama. Okay, Vanessa, I will talk to you later. Okay. Any more tangenting today? I don't really feel like it. We can probably hop into the readings here in just a minute. Yesterday was a long housekeeping and tangent about the movements and the weekly tarot reading, which is really about taking the blinders off, like our blind spot. It's really about identifying our blind spot and the question of what needs to be transmuted from information into wisdom. From the 3-card special this month is really where it's at right now. It's about looking at the blind spot. And my Instagram post this morning was, what is right is not always easy. So we're in places of manifestation and alchemization on an energetic level, regardless of the astrology right now. And we need to be honest about the goals and the things that we want, what we're striving for, what we're working for, and how we're getting there. We all have responsibility in all of those things. And I'm not separate from this. I'm going through too. That we need to get really down and dirty and honest about where our blind spots are. And maybe where we're a little too pie in the sky, where we're a little too positive or too delusional. Neptune's at play here, right? And Neptune is creativity, and it can be wonderment and aiming really big, because if you can't dream and aim really big, there's no way to ever get to it. You have to let that release and that openness happen. But if you get too mired down in the delusional part of like, oh, it's just going to happen. I have my intention on it. But the day-to-day functional bits are not there to get you to your goal. It's absolutely not happening. Okay. So this period of time calls us to dig in to our blind spot. And our blind spot's a blind spot for a reason. We don't know where it is. Okay. So this is why the 3-card special is happening this month, is to point out your blind spot. I mean, it could have just been, what is my blind spot? But asking what the blind spot is doesn't give us a solution through it. Asking what needs to be transmuted from information into wisdom gives us a path forward in it. And there's there's that. So, oh, good. Back into the mountains. I love that, Valerie. Yeah, I mean, we've had some rough energetic weeks, right? And it is summer in the Northern Hemisphere, and our schedules change, and it's lighter, later, our bedtimes change, our circadian rhythms change. So there's a lot of change at play right now. And I teach grounding techniques, UnicornWellness.Studio's grounding techniques. Get on the damn mat, regulate your body, keep it flowing, keep it moving, stay connected to the earth, stay connected to your intentions and your physical body, right? Get into meditation. This always grounds us and reconnects us to spirit and to our internal selves, which is spirit, because we're not separate. And then get grounded and connected to your food. Again, Gemini can be so airy and in motion that they forget to eat. Okay. And so by keeping grounded to our root vegetables and the high vibration foods, and your food code just keeps us humming along, even through this period of time where there's so much shift and so much alchemization. Our reading yesterday told us to take a step back a little bit and to really dig into our blind spot. So maybe look at the things too that we're a little too hopeful about. I know that that might sound scary, but we got to get honest. And as a physical human being, we tend to not make change until we're scared or we're really worried. Working as a physical wellness coach, for over 20 years, people don't make change until they're terrified they're going to die, quite frankly, most of the time. Or they're really worried that what they're doing is not sustainable in a functional way. And we've got to learn our way out of that. We're there as a planet, literally. Like our waste and consumption has just taken it to a place where we're in danger. And we're in a like, we got to change now kind of thing. So get to the scary spaces, because that's where healing and alchemization are available. And I'm here to hold space for that. Okay. Chris, I'm struggling with depression and having been pulling rather darker cards. What is it that needs to be worked on when you're having dark moods? Oh, I said, Thea, okay, you're here from Instagram. Good. So there has been a lot of depression struggling in the last few weeks, and I shared mine also. When these energies shift, that we get these influxes, right? And we get tested and pushed. Darkness is not something to be avoided. I mean, we do need space. And I always kind of go, there's a temperamental footing here of space that I can hold on this. You always want to be working in tandem, with your therapist, if you're on medications, with your personal intuition and your personal intelligence. I mean that genuinely, like of how to navigate. I had a really depressed last week and week before. These energies that are coming in that are higher vibration, they're asking us to look at the dark stuff. What are we still afraid of when we get into these depressed states? And I also think that there is still this huge misunderstanding of the tarot. Huge, that the dark cards mean dark things. Life is light and dark. There's a lot of dark in life. You're going to have to handle it. Literally, you're going to have to make your way through. You need to ask for help, get support, make decisions, try different things, and really work your way through stuff. And when we say dark cards, what are those? Death. Death is not a dark card. Death is the end of something, and it is a transition into the new. It represents winter and the die-off stage. So there is always a die-off stage. No rose can bloom forever. It eventually has to become compost for the next thing, right? The Tower card. The Tower card does not mean your whole life is going to blow up. It means that systems you have put into place, that you have built into your life, no longer function for your highest and greatest good and need to be taken apart bit by bit, or because you're getting the call up from the cards in the universe, things are going to get messy. The universe is going to start messing stuff up for you, so you're going to have to handle it. Okay, so I always say that the Tower card tend to shift and change things. Then the universe goes, I told you, and so that can look like explosive big transitions and things, right? So Chris, before I rant too much, let me see where your question is. Yeah, I think this is also, this is a really good topic, you guys, and I'm really glad you're bringing this up, because I'm going to get into the Eight of Cups, Four of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, I'm going to say this with compassion and with love. We're a highly unresilient culture. This was in my post this morning on Instagram. We see dark and struggle and challenge, and we freak out. We think that the whole world is coming crashing down. It is not. These are guides on the path. So Eight of Cups is about walking away and letting things go that no longer serve your highest and greatest good. Now, are those uncomfortable at sometimes? Absolutely. Does that look like relationships ending and walking away from friendships or partnerships or jobs or places that you have lived? Absolutely. This is not bad. And this is really what I hope to, next level help along the progression of things. Dark, bad cards are not dark and bad. They show transition and shift and resilience and choice. You have to be brave enough to make the choice, to make decisions, to change the path. Just because you want it to stay a certain way doesn't mean that's for your highest and greatest good. So Eight of Cups is just signaling there is something or someone that you need to just let go of. It can be a thought pattern. It can be a way that you talk to yourself internally that just needs to go. It's no longer serving your highest and greatest good. You need to be emotionally mature and brave enough to walk away from it and go, I may be leaving that behind, and that may feel like an empty spot in my life, but there's something new. This is how manifestation works, I'm making space for something new by letting go of something old. That's all. And again, no rose can bloom forever. Butterflies don't bust out of the cocoon all day, every day, right? So then we go, they are uncomfortable. They are not dark. They are not bad. This is the whole of like light and dark. And we think of like bad witches, bad energy. This is a misconception. This is a misunderstanding of duality. Duality exists, light and dark. We go back to Star Wars, right? There's balance in the Force. There's balance in ourselves. And we have just been shamed out of our darkness. Like the shadow side of ourselves, the things that we're uncomfortable with, this is where the goods are. When you can start to love those dark pieces, this is powerful. This is true unconditional self-love, because nobody's perfect. There is no perfection. There is no one without their dark spots. And if they say they are, you better run, because they're lying or delusional. So then this goes back to Gemini energy can be very delusional. I mean, Neptune is at play also, but Gemini can get so like that they are not grounded in reality. Ideas are one thing, but they have to hit the pavement at some point. Okay. So dark or bad cards, this is not where we're at. This is where they're uncomfortable. They're transitions. They're asking you to get honest and to take the blinders off, right? And to make positive and constructive self-choices forward in personal growth and personal evolution. So Four of Swords is about rest, y'all. Like nothing dark or bad about that. Four of Swords says you need to nap and you need to meditate. It's always a call for meditation. So it means that there's offerings of insight, intellect, human thought processes, words, subconscious meaning in meditation, in listening. Remember that prayer is when you talk to God, when you are asking for things. Meditation is when you allow the universe, God, goddess, whatever applies, however you connect to it, to speak to you. Four of Swords says, calm the F down, take a step back, listen to the divine, intelligence of your internal self and to the universe and the world at play. We are a toxic masculinity society. We are based in go, 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 doing, force it, willpower, destroy it. And the Four of Swords card says, can you just step back for a minute and just listen? Listen to what feels right, think about what is right, and allow it to evolve. Four is the number of persistence, and over time, over extended periods of time. Four is also the number of our guardian angels. So it says it's safe to stop. You need to slow down, and you need to resonate and be willing to hear things instead of talking or thinking so much. Okay. So there's nothing dark about the Four of Swords card. And the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords always looks gruesome, and I totally get that. That's typically, shown as people with, 10 swords in their back, like being stabbed in the back. But that is not what this means. I love the 10 of Swords in the Wild Unknown deck. So this is the one that Chris asked about. It's a bull, okay? And it always resonates as you just killing the bullshit. The bullshit is done. If there is any card for this question that we're asking in Gemini season for June, what is the information that needs to be transmuted? And this week's weekly tarot is this your blind spot. Ain't no more room for the blind spot. The bullshit's done. You being delusional and pretending like something's working or like something's really good. 10 of Swords says, no, you don't get to pretend anymore. This is shit. This is pulling you down. This is really bad juju. This person is not supporting your highest and greatest good and does not have your highest and greatest good, person, thing, situation. It can apply to anything. Because remember, the cards are speaking in symbols. And they're helping us channel and root and ground intuition and divine intelligence and divine messaging. They're not absolute. They don't mean the exact same thing every time. That's why when I give you guys readings, I say, this is the traditional reading of this card. Then you got to dig into the intuition at play, or if you feel, connected, as everyone can be, to messaging coming through. But 10 of Swords, number one, it's coming up a lot. I've had it in like every reading. I think I had it today in my personal reading this morning. It just means an end of the really terrible ways of doing things. Very similar. It says that it's no more bullshit. You got to call yourself on your bullshit. You got to look at your blind spots. You have to take responsibility for the things that aren't working. That's really what 10 of Swords says in my book, is you're in play. Things you don't like, things you want to manifest, things you want to transition, change, grow, and evolve. You're responsible for them. Like, you're in great responsibility for them. And that card is calling you out and going, that's done. That time is done. Move on. Because 10, what does 10 mean? Fresh starts and new beginnings. End of old ways. And it's interesting, Chris, this batch of cards, they're all similar, right? They're all about endings. Nothing can live forever. We're not immortal, right? This is why I picked unicorns as the symbolism and of the business, is that they are magical, they are mythical, they are capable of bestowing like complete healing. But they're mortal. They can be killed, right? They're just a horse with a pretty magical horn. So there has to be this understanding of what the difficulties and transitions are. Spirituality does not mean everything's joyful and wonderful. In fact, it often challenges us to stand in our integrity and to do the really hard stuff. Again, referring back to the Instagram post this morning, what is right is not always easy. And the cards push us to do what is right in our personal integrity in connection to a spiritual relationship. That is not always easy. And so it's not always going to look nice. But that's where the true challenge of a spiritual path comes in, is getting comfortable in the discomfort and being able to work with the dark and go, that's just part of it. And this is also where, light workers versus witches. Light workers tend to only want to perceive the light and turn everything into light. That's not realistic. Witches are willing to delve in the dark, and they're willing to deal in balance and duality, which is this balance in this 3D plane. We're trying to balance 3D with, of humanity with divinity. Light, dark. Okay. Let me go back to the comments so I don't get too far off. Yeah, I mean, we're being pushed for transformation as a culture, okay? And so depression has been really, really alchemized into this clinical thing. There is a clinical portion of it. There's also a very realistic portion of, if you are human and spiritually connected, there is no way that you would not go through bouts of depression. This human life is messy, it's mean, it is often unfair, and it is utterly sad. And it is finite, right? We will die at some point. We will transition. We do not go on forever. We are here for a limited period of time in order to get the work done that we need to do in this lifetime, which is why it's important to be on the path of self-evolution, so that you're always in service, right, to the highest and greatest good. So there's a thing here about, what depression is, how awful is it, and do not minimize it, because I have been absolutely diagnosed multiple times in my life and been given prescriptions that I just absolutely can't do. It makes everything worse. I've worked with clients for the last 20 years. They wean off of things, and I understand the aspects of it. So I don't want to get into a complete topic of clinical depression, right? But I think in order to be human is to be depressed if you're actually really empathetic and connected, because it's messy and it's sad. And we cannot, as one person, save and help everything that we feel sadness for. But there are real, genuine things to feel overwhelmed with right now in the world. So the best thing that we can do is acknowledge it, work all of the practical tactics. So as you point out, there's hormone imbalance here. That's the pointer to go do the food reset. If anything will balance your hormones, it is literally the food reset. Okay. Getting on the mat consistently balances your hormones. Meditation assists in that hormone balance process, right? So you have to be doing the things that support the physical as well as the spiritual and intellectual. It doesn't mean you have to do the shadow work right now, and I understand that if you go too far down that path, But this is also why you recruit support, why you ask for help. You have people that you talk to, you book readings, and you go at the rate and the pace that you feel that you can handle at this time. And then if you feel like you can't handle any of it, that's when you really reach out, right? And ask for help and ask for support and, find, people who really that's their area of expertise to hold that space for you. So it's a fine line for everybody. But as a culture, we need to get much more comfortable in the uncomfortable and in transitions. Dark does not mean bad, right? And things that appear to be scary aren't. The scariest thing is to anchor into that fear and to trust the fear is the only thing, right? What we have to do is cultivate a relationship with ourselves, with divine spirit, and understand that our soul is infinite. This physical body and this physical experience is not. Okay. And the duality of that is hard at times to balance, right? And to understand. So when things are feeling overwhelming and like too much, we need to get back to basics. We need to not be handling other people's stuff. We need to cut down on our schedules. We need to have more support, more community, and more self-evaluation and trying to cultivate simple joys, movement, meditation, high frequency foods that help support the process of everything healing in the long run. And the hashtag that we've always used for the last 6 years is better is better. Healing and better and transitions happen in these teeny tiny increments. They don't happen in an instant, right? And we do get in places where we're tired, and we do get in places where we're frustrated and we're overwhelmed. And that is literally the time to anchor into self-care, because that will support the better process of things and the love and the cultivation of healing. So I think it's really interesting because there has been a lot of mention and conversation about depression being intense right now from a spiritual, energetic perspective only. Times when depression and anxiety are high are when we are being taxed and given energetic upgrades. It's very difficult for the physical human body to integrate those. So it is the time to meditate more, to rest more, to wean out the caffeine, wean down and out on the caffeine and the alcohol and the crap processed foods, to get in an Epsom salt bath. This is the time to double down on self-care, because our fear is being poked at. I mean, depression is based in fear. So if we can get into cultivating more love, then that helps and supports a healing process. It may not be the only portion of it, right? I'm a big fan of balancing science with the woo-woo and the self-care. So that's a topic at large right now. So it's an opportunity for healing because we're getting poked and triggered. And a week or so ago, without being here, I think I scared my husband a little bit. He hadn't seen me that way. I don't know that he's ever really seen me that way. I mean, I was sleeping and napping through the day and really depressed and a lot of crying and a lot of tears. And I canceled my schedule, everything that I possibly could. And I really focused on my movement and my self-care, right? Movement, meditation, and bath time. And just making it through the week, doing the things that I could. So I just want you to know that we love you. We're here for you. Not every week is easy. Not every month, not every year, not every decade. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. And don't, I mean, this is also, again, like the piling things on. Like when the depression is high, it is the double down on self-care. This is not the time for the work. You don't need to overwhelm yourself with anything more. That's not the time to do it, right? The time to do it is when you're in a constructive space. And if that takes longer to get to, then it takes longer to get to, right? And Charlotte's absolutely right. But I love the question about the dark cards, because our perception, I've been hearing this a lot lately, of the dark cards don't mean dark things. Everything is fate and free will. Everything is light and dark. Everything is how we perceive them and how we, move forward with them. Because sometimes it is a shit situation, right? And picking the lesser of two evils is a real thing sometimes. And we just have to do the very best we can with the tools we have right now. And sometimes just move forward and just get through. That's really all. Okay. And Chris, I totally get it. I mean, I absolutely get it. And I resisted medication always for it. Even St. John's wort, anything that I took made it worse through periods of time. The way I managed big time my depression was through the food reset and my food code. Gut healing with that. I mean, this is like the topic of the day is the reset. I'm not saying it's the savior for everything, but it is a real solution for upswing and support. We have more serotonin receptors in our stomach than we do in our head. So when our gut is right and it's healed and it's nourished and it's bolstered, it changes our hormone levels and it changes our depression levels. And so last week, it may have been 2 weeks ago, when I was in such a rough spot, it is really about, we were traveling. I was a little off my food code. I had some things I don't usually do. And there was definitely some alcohol, which I don't always, I rarely do anymore. And and the energies and self-evolution of like things that weren't going the way that I want them to, things that I need to walk away from, things that I need to adjust. And I had to take self-responsibility for those things, right? Okay, so I'm going to take a pause on that. Chris, I hope that helps. And I hope that you hear me. And then I hope it's received in love, because that's the intention it's put out there with. I do love talking about cards that people find to be dark. And there has been a slew, especially of the unicorns lately, of hitting some deep depression points. Of really feeling like the cards are sending them in the wrong direction. And it's like, they're not static and nothing is absolute. Answers aren't always yes or no, even though we'll get into the readings today. So I hope that was clear. And if it's not clear, Chris, then you send me an email and we talk. Let's see. Yeah, good. And journaling is such a productive, excellent space to be in. And sometimes I have learned, this is my personal thing, and this is years of depression for all kinds of reasons, and we don't need to go through my therapy session today. That when things are the darkest and the saddest, I just allow them to be that. And that was the conversation that I had with my husband. I know this won't last forever, so just let me be. When I need to cry, I'm going to go cry. And if I need to go journal, then I'm going to go journal. And if I need an extra bath today, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be quiet this week. And lo and behold, there was a lot of journaling and a lot of quietness and a lot of naps and a lot of uncomfort and some self-judgment of like, I thought I was over this. Being human is hard. Being an empathetic, loving, empathic human, unbelievably hard. So be gentle with yourself. Understand that when you have those deep feels, one, I know it's a flag for healing. So let it take the amount of time that it needs to take. There's no need for things to go quickly. Okay? All right. So here we go. Let's work with our questions. Okay. So you all may ask a question that can be answered in a yes or no answer. Anything that is channeled through that's additional information, I will bring through for you. No love and relationship questions, not my area of expertise. I already went through it at the beginning of the hour and a couple weeks ago. That's just not what I do. You have a question about your path forward for your highest and greatest good. That's what I'm here to help answer and to assist. Okay. So just type them in. A question, one per person, that could be answered in a yes or no capacity. And we'll probably do about maybe 10 today. Okay, so if you all have questions that are constructive for your highest evolution on your path forward, please go ahead and type them, and I will do first come, first serve. Bye, Paula. I will see you later, okay? I love you too. So if you have questions both on Instagram and on YouTube, let's see. So remember that these are not questions for love or for relationships. They are questions for and about yourself and your personal evolution on your path forward for your highest and greatest good in a way that can be answered yes or no. Okay? And if it's, let's see. Charlotte. Yay! Okay. Should you take a break from client commissions in July? Should you take a break from client commissions in July? This is for Charlotte. Charlotte, this is our card of from the week. This is Queen of Cups. That's it. Okay. I hear yes. Okay. But I also hear that you need to sit in your emotions and your feelings. Like, how do you feel about it? Do you need a personal break to recharge, renew, rejuvenate? I hear yes. That, emotionally, sometimes when we get wrapped up in our finances and our business, then we're pushing against what we really need on a personal level. So I do hear yes, that you can take a break in July, but you need to sit and meditate on it, really get honest and clear about what you're going to do with that time off for the unfoldment and the benefit of your person for your soul and your feelings and emotions. Okay, that's good. I love that. Rupali, will you get a tourist visa approved on July 2nd? Will you get a tourist visa approved on July 2nd? Well, this is Page of Wands, so that looks like a yes. That's a yes, because this, Page of Wands is about bravery and courageousness, but in particular in this deck, it's like embarking on a new adventure. It often really denotes travel and like, hey, what's out there? Let's go explore. So I hear yes for that. Hooray. Okay. Thank you for that, Sue. Yeah, if we're going to be compassionate and we're going to be appropriate and relevant to what's going on here. This is typically members of UnicornWellness.Studio who are here to ask questions and are really working on a practice of, anchored in movement, in fuel, and spiritual ritual. If it's going to be negative and it's going to be divisive, then it's not what we're going to pay attention to in this group. Okay. Erica, should you, hang on, where to go? Look into working with a recruiter for a new job after you come back from baby leave. Okay, Erica. That's a yes, Erica. That's the Wheel of Fortune. This is good things coming your way, things transitioning for the better. That's a big old yes. I love that. And she's so fabulous in her pink gown. I love it. Yeah, that's a yes. Go talk to that recruiter. Katie, should you and Angus go to Europe in September? Why is that a question? No, I will ask. I get it. Should you all go to Europe in September? Yeah, this is Ace of Wands. So again, wands are about bravery and courageousness, creativity, willpower. Aces are momentary opportunities for a big idea. I would say that's a yes. Okay, so that's definitely a yes. Okay. Yeah, no love or relationship questions. So basically, I'll put it this way, no asking about someone else. It needs to be in relationship to yourself, because we are the only thing that we can ever really work on is ourselves. And so we need, hi Lee, oh, I love you too. Those are the things that we can really realistically ask about. And again, I talked about at the top of the hour if you want to know all the details of why, but that's how it works. No questions about other people, only about yourself. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to disinvite this person at this point. Okay. Hang on. Only good vibes in here, y'all. Okay. All right. Let's go back to, thank you guys for helping me moderate. And I just removed somebody from the room. I'm not playing all that. I also don't want to take away from your time with me or the cards, your time with the cards. Um, Scary. Is success coming my way? I like that question. Okay. Do you want to ask in reference to what? Because I'm big on particulars, but let's do, is success coming your way? That's a yes. That's in partnership with someone else. That's, 2 is about patience and time. It's not going to be super immediate and it's not going to be super fast. And success is coming your way, but give it time, be patient. The 2 of Cups is also about your feelings and emotions and getting emotionally balanced between solar and lunar energies, masculine and feminine energies. So it's yes, but it also denotes patience and time and some work in the personal balance department. It can be about soul relationships. It can be about soul partnerships. It often in readings with me is very much about balancing the internal self and internal emotions and becoming your own best friend. We're a little more self work, but yes. Okay. What else we got here? Yeah, Erica, yours was so clear. Um, Oh, Cynthia, I like this one. Do I take the month of August off for downtime? Y'all are all on a good path right here of asking questions for self care and downtime. Man, there's a whole lot of running themes for the unicorns, right? So, Cynthia, do you take a month off in August for downtime? Hi, you guys. I'm going between YouTube and Instagram. I think this will be the last question because it seems like the last one in the list here. Cynthia, do you take time off? Uh, Cynthia, this is a yes, and it's the same card. You saw how long I shuffled, right? This is the same card. So that's a yes for you. This is 2 of Cups because you need time. You need to be patient with yourself, and you need more self-care to balance the giving and the receiving, right? So solar energy is masculine energy. This is willpower and doing and going after something. And feminine energy is the lunar energy. This is the receiving, this is meditation. This is waiting. This is listening. So it says that you need some time to balance these things out in yourself. So if you're being called to self-care and downtime in order to balance all the doing, going, making things happen, that's a yes. Take August off. I'm taking August off mostly. So hang out with me. Okay. Yeah, you guys all need a big old unicorn vacation. You totally do. Summer's off for the unicorns. Whoop, whoop. Remember that August is playtime, right? It's the height of summer in the northern hemisphere, so it is time to play, to be out in the sun, and to piddle and be free. So like if we're going to live by the astrology and live by the lunar cycles, August is the time to play. And so self-care, and there you go. That's okay. All right, you guys, I'm willing to take one more question, but the question has to be phrased in a way that can be answered yes or no. No questions about other people. So no love or relationship questions, because that's just me. What, Lori, what was your question? I don't think it was a yes or no. Yeah, if you'll rephrase it, Ori, I'm happy to answer it. So it has to be phrased in a way that can be answered yes or no. And again, no love and no relationship questions. So those are my boundaries for our free give questions live. You can ask questions about yourself. Will this help me on my path to attracting my true life partner? Because we are the only thing we can ever work on, right? Things don't just randomly walk into our lives. It's because we have worked on self-evaluation, self-care, or personal frequency that then they manifest and they appear and they're magnetized. So we don't sit around waiting for wishes to be granted as unicorns. We understand that we cultivate that energy that attracts those things to us or that generates the environment in which for them best to arrive in. Okay. So if you rephrase it, what do we got? Yeah, everybody. Okay, Melinda, here we go. Should I finalize the European trip today? Okay, should I finalize the European trip today? That's a yes, Melinda. 6 of Wands is a celebration and a homecoming after the battle. Yeah, And it's totally vacation time for all of the unicorns, if we couldn't tell that already. I love it. Princess Laura, have you gone through your spiritual awakening? I'm going to pull a card for that. There's also some depth to that question, meaning that we don't tend to go through only one spiritual awakening. There are many and multiple, and once one begins, then you have different layers of the awakening. So, but I will pull a card for that question and see where it takes us from a channeled perspective. Have I gone through my spiritual awakening? Four of Pentacles. This is interesting. Four of Pentacles is feeling alone, feeling separate from people, feeling separate from flow and from abundance. And Pentacles are often about finances, but this is joy and love. It's abundance. So I think that the spiritual awakening has been instigated, but you're not finished and you haven't gone through it yet. Usually the most uncomfortable portion of it is that no, August doesn't mean a layoff, Anita. It just means time off, self-care. And so, Princess Laura, like, you haven't gone through it yet. It's just been initiated. Usually the messiest part is the beginning of it. And the beginning of it is not like a day or a month. It can often be an entire year of like just mess in order for you to be and get and into a spiritual connection and a spiritual flow and a spiritual practice of integrating what you learn, the difficult transitions, the blind spots into higher frequencies and into better day-to-day practices. Okay. All right. So, all right, Ori, I'm such a stickler for the question, and I'm so sorry. And if I'm a pain in the ass, then I'm a pain in the ass. I want you to be asking things of, a step to attract a partner, not just will you marry this year? Because you could get married. You go ask somebody random and go get married today. Is that really the point? What do you really want? You want a life partner? You want, what is it that you really need? And then focus on how can, if I work on this in myself, will that help me attract a life partner this year? Section of school on sex therapy, and it was really fun. Should I explore focusing on becoming a sex therapist? Jill, I love this question. Hang in there. Let me shuffle. Let's see. Should you explore focusing on becoming a sex therapist? This is interesting. This is Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles always denotes change, feeling left out in the cold. Pentacles being abundance and joy and like the fun of things. So I hear fun, and that Five of Pentacles means turn around, open the door, walk into where that's a yes. That's a yes, but it's change. There's going to be the shift of perspective in things for you, right? Probably already is because of, moving from one aspect of therapy into sex therapy. Like, there's a yes. That's just a yes. That's just a big old yes. Okay. All right. Searching for places. It's felt like a battle. Boo. I don't like that. Okay, you guys, I'm signing off. It's 12 o'clock. I get to go be mommy. My kids are waiting patiently and it's time. So I love you all very much. And I will see you next week. Not on Monday. Yeah, no Monday next week. But on Tuesday, we'll do everything. We'll do the full moon ritual. We'll do our weekly tarot and we'll do questions. Okay. I love you all very, very much. And I will see you next time.